Hello everyone, how's it going? John Bonham here, also known as Cape Cod White Shaving. Got a history shave for you. Finally. It's been ages. Really good one. I got a new format I'm going to try out, see how y'all like it. First and foremost, coffee of the day, gingerbread from Starbucks. Really good. I'm not a huge fan of Starbucks. I would say I like maybe 1/3 of the offerings I've tried of theirs. They just have I don't like the way they roast their beans and flavor them. But this one's pretty good. If you've had the pumpkin spice from them, the spice tastes identical to the pumpkin spice, but obviously it's gingerbread, so it's not. I like that one a lot. I'm on the last snippets of the 15 or so bags I bought for Christmas. So, all right. So, today's shave, I'm also going to be chasing it with this new blueberry polar seltzer water. So the stuff I'm going to be using today, I'm excited for this one. Atomic Holiday from Barrister and Mann, one of the most vastly underrated releases that they've had in the last couple of years, in my opinion. I think I've seen this one time in the wild, someone else using it in the 2 years or so it's been since they released it. So, really good scent. I do have the Splash and the Balm for that. And the pre-shave oil I'm wearing is from Shave Base. I don't know if y'all seen me use these guys. This guy, I should say. This brand. It's defunct. It's a guy named Chris Newman. He is from Massachusetts. The Lighthouse is what got my attention there. But he is in the middle of rebranding. Like many of the artisans out there, this is not his major gig. He actually has a full-time job. This was just a side thing for him. It didn't really take off, so he's rebranding it and coming back, from what he told me. I haven't talked to him in a while. So, that's the software. I already have the pre-shave oil on. And I also just took a shower and I need a haircut, so never mind my Squidward-shaped head. I hate when that happens. It starts getting puffy. I don't know why that was relevant at all. Hardware. I'm using the feather adjustable that I got at the PIF table at the Ariana and Evans meetup. Not last year, the year before, whatever. And I got some 7 o'clock blades in there only because they matched with the soap for the shave of the day photo. I am not very proficient in how good these are. Not prolific. So I'm going to try them out. What the hell. I've seen mixed reviews about this razor. A lot of people either like it or they hate it. I think many of the complaints are that it's too mild and that there's only 2 settings. I personally like it a lot because I usually go with 1. And if I have longer hair, I go with 2. So it's a nice little, the only complaint I have about it is that it's light. That's it. But it's top heavy, which is another thing I like. So anyway. All right. So let's go ahead and get lathering. Get this show on the road. I'm already 3 minutes in. Oh, the scent notes of the soap, by the way, are crap. I forgot to write them down. So I wrote this history shave down going on 2 weeks ago. And I wasn't able to do it. So I've been waiting forever for this, and I wrote down the scent notes for Smoking Bishop, which is what I plan to use because it's one of my favorites, and I already used it once. I wanted to use it a second time. So if I remember correctly, I wrote them down earlier for my post today. Scent notes are, not grapefruit. I can't remember the first one. Oh, pineapple, lime, bergamot, cardamom, and what's the last one? I can't remember the last one. I got all of them. There's one more, and I can't remember what the last one is, but it's pineapple, bergamot, lime, cardamom, and I can't remember the last. I'll put it in the description. Doesn't matter. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be shaving with. Very good scent. The subject matter on it, or behind the inspiration of this soap, has to do with the Manhattan Project and nuclear research and all that stuff that led up to the atomic bombs, and that happened on December 2nd, so that's why it's called Atomic Holiday. But let's get to lathering. Oops, already shed a hair. Oh, and I'm using my Omega 10108 boar brush. It's not on the bottom. That's what it is. 10108 red boar from Omega. Haven't used an Omega brush on camera in quite a while, so thought it was time. Hope everyone's well. Great Christmas, great New Year. New Year's off to a weird start politically in America with all the weird crap going down, but hey, good start to the year for me and my family, so no complaints. All right. So the format I'm doing today, it is a history shave, but I decided to try something new. I forget where exactly I saw it. I think it was a reel or a short on YouTube, but it was talking about a random person just mentioning facts about them. And I was kind of hooked, like, wow, who is this? And I was blown away at the end by who it was, so I decided to do something similar here. Give it a shot, see what y'all think. If y'all figure out who it is, awesome. If not, at the very end, I'm going to disclose, I'm going to purposely keep you in the dark about who this person is I'm going to be talking about. And then I'm going to mention it at the end of the video. Y'all won't see it coming, okay? And there was a soap set I wanted so badly to use. It would have been perfect for this, but it also would have given it away. So, all right, here we go. So, I call this History Mysteries. Clever, huh? All right. So you saw the cover photo. I purposely made that vague as well. You can see it's black. I think it's a black and white photo, if I remember correctly. So throughout this history shave, we're going to call this guy Jesse. Okay. Jesse was born in Morgantown, West Virginia on July 21st in 1924. Let me keep lathering here. He had 2 older brothers. His birth was not planned. And he was born 14 years after his last sibling. So he was a baby. Okay. He was one of 4 total kids. He had a sister, if I remember correctly. Again, it's been a while. I write these down, and I like to do them either the same day or the next day, so that it's still fresh in my head. So even though stuff I wrote down is still in my memory, I can, add stuff to it that I remember from the article that I didn't write down. So I'm going to try to do that here, because it's really interesting. Oh, I love the scent of this stuff. So his childhood home was small, and he had no bedroom. We're close to that ourselves. Not really. We're in a 4-bedroom house, but it's just 5 kids. We're kind of on top of one another. The 2 youngest are sharing a room. His childhood home was small, and he had no bedroom. He had to sleep on a cot in the kitchen. Okay? Pretty sad. Which is obviously one of the busiest rooms of the house, so I don't think he had a lot of privacy, if you know what I mean. His father, unfortunately, was a severe alcoholic, and now is known to have been schizophrenic. At the time, I don't know if they called it schizophrenia. They probably called it mania or something like that back then. But he was, based on his symptoms and his behaviors, they now know undoubtedly he was schizophrenic. So he often abused his son, his wife too, his family, but he specifically really, which is weird, took it out on his son. Usually abusers, the oldest child is the one who gets it the worst. I think studies show that. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And I have family where that's the case. I won't get into that, but go ahead. I didn't whip that lather up very well. There we go. But yeah, he was targeted really by his father, unfortunately. Jesse was. So he once threatened Jesse with a knife after Jesse was only trying to cross the living room to use the restroom. His dad was constantly in the living room, would pass out drunk on the couch, so he was trying to sneak through the living room to get to the bathroom. His dad woke up and threatened him with a knife, and his mom had to intervene. Okay. His 2 older brothers, they were close with him and they were extremely protective of him because he was the baby, but they too, unfortunately, as it runs in the family, so often is the case, were also alcoholics. They would get drunk and be abusive to him as well. So his older brother William Jr., died of asthma at the age of 31 in 1941. So he lost one of his brothers that was trying to look out for him, where his dad was concerned. His father also eventually passed away when Jesse was 13 years old. To escape his hard life and to escape home and just get the hell out of there, out of Morgantown, he began performing comedy and ventriloquism, believe it or not, before he even entered high school. He was to escape his hard life. He began performing comedy to mentally escape everything, but he does escape, you'll see. After he graduated, Jesse briefly moved to New York City to attempt a career in comedy. So he had friends and his peers in the high school telling him, dude, you're hilarious, you need to do something with this. And so he did briefly move to New York City, which is still the case today. If you want to be an actor, I mean, you can move to Broadway to New York City to do Broadway, but if you wanted to be an actor, you move to California. If you wanted to do comedy, you move to New York City. But he briefly moved to New York City to attempt a career. It did not pan out. He moved back home, and he ended up attending West Virginia University. And it's only now that I'm kicking myself because I have a WVU hoodie I could have worn, but I don't like wearing hoodies when I wet shave because the hood and everything else get in the way, so never mind. And my mom and dad went to Marshall. That's where they met, Marshall University. So maybe it's good I didn't wear said hoodie. Oops. Ooh, snagged my cheek. Did you see that? But pretty neat. He went to West Virginia University. This is where things get interesting for him. After only his freshman year, he ended up enlisting in the U.S. Army because of World War II. He incredibly, this is the cool part, his talents were instantly recognized in the military, and he began traveling around to different troops in different parts of the world with a ventriloquist dummy and entertain the troops with another comedy troupe that was made specifically for that purpose, to go around, entertain the troops, and keep morale up during World War II. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it is not Bob Hope, for those who are wondering. I don't think Bob Hope ever served. I might be wrong there, but I don't think he did. I think that's a common misconception. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think he did. All right. Let's go ahead and get under the neck and flip over. I got 3 pages here, so I'm trying to get through it quick. So after the war, he graduated from West Virginia University with a degree in education in 1948. At this time, he had $100 to his name, okay? Jesse once again headed for New York City. I would imagine he was bolstered with his success in the military, with his comedy. The economy was booming because an unfortunate side effect of war, that's good, but it takes war to do it, is a booming economy. Hence the Great Depression hitting so hard was because the Roaring 20s, everyone was living it up post World War I. Because the economy was just whoosh, same thing. He was promptly rejected in his attempts at a comedy career. Wah, wah, wah. He was turned down for numerous radio gigs, and he ended up doing stand-up comedy where he could, and finally would land a role on TV. So that's pretty neat. So he ended up on television, which was getting up there at the time. Nothing like it is today. It was a new frontier. Because a lot of these actors did movies, or they did radio. Okay? World War II was radio. TV was a newer medium. but he did get a TV show. He would appear on a soap opera from 1953 to 1955. At this time, he would meet a fellow actor and a man who would become a lifelong friend. The friend he met was named Andy. All right? Don't know if that helps. In 1960, Jesse and Andy starred in a show that would become their most famous work to this day, and eventually would be considered a staple of American television, again, to this day. You might know who I'm talking about now, but we'll see. Let me go ahead and get this second pass done. I'm almost to the end of this page, and then I'm going to talk about the scent and the performance, which is Barrister and Mann Omnibus, so it is amazing. Jesse would win no less than 5 Emmy Awards for his work on this show. He would leave the show in 1965. Okay. He would go on to star in numerous films and shows over the years. These include Three's Company, The Cosby Show, and one of the Herbie movies. Such a mild razor. A lot of people don't like mild. Sometimes I don't. That's why every now and then you'll just see me randomly use an open comb. I'm in the mood for a more aggressive shave that day. But I'll usually do like an Astra Green blade or something in an open comb, or a Parker. I just like the mild blade with the little bit more aggressive razor. And I'm going to just take some water. Okay. In his later years, Jesse did voiceover work a lot, ironically, for shows like Scooby-Doo, Robot Chicken, and Hermie and Friends. I forgot about Robot Chicken. I used to love that show. It was hilarious. I like the real version of Home Alone, if you ever saw that. It's very funny because Kevin sets all the traps and then goes to bed. And then the hot iron on the doorknob starts his house fire, and he runs out of his room and promptly gets caught up in his own traps. And then his mom finally gets home just in time to see him getting wheeled out on a gurney. And it turns out Marv and Harry called the police because they saw the house was on fire. It was really funny. Sorry, it's off topic completely, but that was one of my favorite Robot Chickens. I think there's one with Darth Vader. Anyway, sorry. Throughout his life, Jesse struggled with being a hypochondriac, believe it or not. Hypochondria and anxiety. His struggles with his childhood had given him a severe inferiority complex that he would have for his entire life. So he always just thought he was less than he was, which is so ironic, considering who he is. He also became addicted to anxiety medication, unfortunately. So he also dealt with addiction issues throughout his life. So I'm going to pause here. The pineapple mixed with the bergamot and lime is really what makes this shine, in my opinion. It's an odd scent choice for the topic and for the time of year it's released, which is another thing I thought I liked. Another thing I liked that I thought he did a good job with. And Paula, I should say. It was a bold move. And it's a really good scent. It's very nice. I would, I only break it out at Christmas because it's a holiday release, but I mean, I could easily use this in summertime, in spring. I might actually. It's just a very sweet citrus and the cardamom, and I wish I remembered that bloody last scent note. Really rounded out. So, good stuff. I don't know if he'll re-release it I don't think it was a huge hit, so probably not. Which is a shame. Because I would really like the EDP of this stuff. Whoops. Did I just nick myself? Hold on. I don't think so. Oh well. 1 second. Gotta do the sickle. All right. It would not be until an accidental overdose of sleeping pills, along with the help of his third wife, that Jesse was able to break his habit. So he almost died, unfortunately. Eventually, Jesse would be diagnosed with lung cancer. He would also suffer from a degenerative eye condition that caused him to go blind in his later years of life. Jesse would pass away at the age of 81 on February 24th, 2006. His daughter and his longtime friend Andy were by his side when he passed away. So, in case you didn't know who this is, it's really cool, and hopefully it makes you appreciate the work this man did and who he was. Because Jesse was born Jesse Donald Knotts. You would better know him as Don Knotts, the nervous, clumsy, and hilarious Deputy Barney Fife, along with his best friend, Andy Griffith. There's the late Mr. Knotts right there. Okay. Just for good measure, one more photo of Mr. Fife. Great character. So, pretty cool. I added this at the very end. I wanted to make sure to mention this. During his short military career, his awards included, and he was in for however long I said, what was it, 2 years? He got the World War II Victory Medal, the Philippine Liberation Medal, the Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal with 4 Bronze Stars, the American Campaign Medal, the Army Good Conduct Medal, the Army Marksman Badge for the M1 carbine, and the Honorable Service Lapel Pin. That is 7. Okay, those are 7 of the big ones. You probably got more than that. That's incredible. Not bad for a guy who thought he was basically, in essence, worthless, right? Incredible. So let me rinse this off real quick. I'll be right back and do post-shave, okay? Okay. I was so into the shave, I forgot to drink my coffee. Ooh. It's not a good look at the way my hair was like that. With the mustache. Man, that's good. Isn't that an incredible story, though? Who would have thought that that skinny little guy, who, I don't know, was kind of dorky, I guess, affable, had such a hard life and managed to end up what he was. He was in Pleasantville. I forgot about that. That movie was all right. I think it's so popular just because of the technology involved in it. But I forgot that he was the guy that sent them to Pleasantville. Was he the cable guy or the milkman, or he was something like that? But another interesting factoid, and I forgot this too, was that he left the Andy Griffith Show before the Andy Griffith Show was done. I completely forgot that. And Andy Griffith in the show, if you remember, says that Barney hit it big, and that he was now, what was it, a police chief in North Carolina or something like that, or a deputy in North Carolina. He moved to the city. Well, that is because when Andy approached him, he handpicked him to be Barney Fife. He told him that it probably wouldn't last longer than 5 seasons, that it wouldn't, it'd be mediocre and it wouldn't be a huge hit show. So when he signed on to be in the show for that role, one of the stipulations he had put was that he's going to leave after 5 seasons, which he did. He thought that it wouldn't last and he would just go off and do movies and stuff. So he actually had made a deal with, I think, was it Universal or a movie company somewhere, that he would leave the show and start doing movies for them. Something like that. It was I don't know the nitty gritty of it, but that's what it was that he just didn't think it would be a hit. And so, you know, he had kind of screwed himself without meaning to. So, really interesting. I thought that was a pretty cool little fact. But, you know, it's very interesting, you know, especially back in the day, man. These guys had rough lives. Oops. Oh, this is so tough. I'm so glad Will switched over to the other pumps. Because I pump the Balm out, and then I try to close this, and if I forget to, it's a waste of product. I suppose I could let like the Balm on the edge of the pump dry and plug the interior of the bottle, but I like to close it so I know for a fact that air is not getting to it, because I'm very protective of my product. It's always in a cool place. I have a dehumidifier that runs 24 hours a day down in my basement, and in fact I set my razors and my brush on top of that dehumidifier to dry out, but it's always a cool, dry environment, and there's no sunlight to be seen. So I make sure just to keep it airtight. That's just me. That's what I do. That's why if I see a lot of these guys, and they probably think I'm being a know-it-all douchebag, but I don't mean anything. They'll post a photo saying like, oh, I rearranged the bathroom, and you'll see all their aftershaves on a windowsill with the sun just beaming through it, and you're like, ooh, no, don't do that. So I'll say, hey, like, you need to get those out of the sun. And it's just, I don't know. I don't mean any harm. If you ever see me comment like that, that's why. Because you're at a molecular level, you're decimating. The fragrance really, I think, goes first. Fragrance oils break down, and then the ingredients start to break down. Anywho. So yeah, I hope y'all like that. I think that's about it. I didn't even drink my friggin' blueberry seltzer. I bring these up to chase the coffee because I talk so much during these. The coffee actually dries my throat out and starts to hurt, so I have this. But unintentionally, the coffee became one of the main parts of the video. I've met quite a few people through the coffee alone, not just the shaving. So, all right, that'll do it, guys. I hope y'all like that. If you liked it, let me know. If you want to subscribe, cool. I never mention it. If you want to hit like, all that stuff. You know what to do. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I don't have to say it. It helps, but, you know, don't expect it. But yeah, let me know if y'all like this. I'll do it more often. Just do a mystery person or a mystery thing and reveal it at the end. Downside is also I didn't have a lot of photos because otherwise, obviously, it would have given things away. So, 2 photos at the end, but that'll do it. All right, everyone. Sorry it took so long. Till next time. Appreciate you coming back and watching. If you did, definitely appreciate you watching to the end. If you're new, I have 2 very young kids. I used to do this once a week. I do plan on getting back to that. I usually did a video Monday and then a video History Shave Thursday. So at the very least, I want to come back and do the History Shaves on Thursdays. So yeah, appreciate it, guys. Hope everyone had a great New Year, great Christmas. Till the next video, appreciate it. Y'all take care. Be safe. Take care of one another. And as always, most importantly, enjoy the shaves. See you next time.